Hi, everybody. So the topic is to wrap or not to wrap. And I'm basically talking about while trailering here. So I have run across so many different opinions on this and reasons why people either choose to wrap or not to wrap. And honestly, I've been in both realms. So depending on the animal, depending on the event, depending on the distance, depending on a lot of things, I choose to wrap or not to wrap. And, you know, if you have one that stocks up easy, maybe wrap them, especially if you're going a great distance. Maybe you have one that's just real clumsy in the trailer and you're physically protecting them. Totally get it. Maybe you have one that's not comfortable at all with wraps on, so you're not going to wrap them. They just do better without them. So don't judge people by whether they wrap or don't wrap. It might just be how they were brought up. It might be what they were taught was safe. It might be they have anecdotal evidence that, you know, they've seen an incident where a horse survived a trailer wreck and you know what? It was wrapped and it had no scratches. So I would definitely, that would be proof to me, maybe I need to wrap my horse. Or you see one in a wreck and it's not a good, you know, scenario and it wasn't wrapped. So that proves to you, you should. So we all do these things out of fear, love, and safety, whatever, for our animals. So a couple of things though. I don't think wrapping is bad and I don't think not wrapping is bad. I do think it's bad if you don't know how to apply a wrap though. And I know you can do damage and I've seen this firsthand. So when you're putting on a wrap for the trailer, we call them standing wraps. They can be purchased as a pair. So these are cottons, the little thing that must go under. And this is sold with it. These are standing wrap. I think they just call these standing wrap bandages. So this is not a polo wrap. Polo wraps are fuzzy and stretchy. This is polyester and it's not stretchy at all. So it's meant to be able to keep some tension so that you can keep these from sliding down the legs of your horses or mules. So the thing is, you need to have these tight enough to stay on, but not so tight as to be uncomfortable or cause damage. The cotton is put underneath so that you cannot accidentally make tight and loose areas down the back of the tendons for the horse. So if you think of what's happening in a trailer, they're on like, you know, suspension systems. So shock absorbers are their tendons. And so they're standing still, but those are bouncing all the time. So you don't want something with unequal pressure along the back that's going to cause irritation on those tendons that we know are just right there below the skin, right? So this cotton helps distribute that pressure and make it a little bit more error-proof for getting that outer bandage on. Also, why you don't want to use polo wraps in a trailer, because it's just the bandage around their leg. They're somewhat elastic. And so you've got now this pressure all the time on those tendons, and it's uneven pressure all the way down the back. And I saw the repercussions of this from a gal who had ridden many miles, threw the polo wraps on because she thought her horse might stock up, threw them on all night long. And by the next day, her horse's legs looked like the Michelin Man. And they were actually already hardened in these ridges. It was awful. She came to get me, said, what do I do? We talked about it for a while. But so I did get to see what can happen when you've got, you know, something that should have been a standing wrap situation if the horse stocked up. But she used the polo wrap. So polo wraps are for working in, they're not for hauling in. So anyway, in the video that you're gonna see here, you're gonna see that I wrap them in a particular direction. And the theory behind this was something I learned in Pony Club. So I keep going back to my old Pony Club days, that you wrap from the inside, around the front, and around. So on a left front leg, you'd be wrapping from the top in a counterclockwise direction. And when you do the right front leg, you're wrapping in a clockwise direction. And the whole reason for this is so that when you wrap that leg and you have this bandage in your hand and you're pulling it to wrap back around, you're not pulling it on the tendon part, you're pulling it across the cannon bone. So the whole reason for that is just to help eliminate some of the human error in maybe not having your tensions exactly the same on every single one of those laps going around that leg. That is very important. So all in all, like I said, I don't think wrapping is bad. I think it's necessary sometimes, and I don't think it's necessary to wrap every single horse depending on the day and the deal and where you're going and whatnot. But if you're going to wrap, please make sure you go on Google, go to YouTube. There's lots of people that give great advice on how to wrap a standing wrap, and make sure you have the right supplies for that. Don't make do with a polo wrap and think, oh, it'll be fine. It might be fine. I'm just telling you, I've seen the results of somebody leaving that on in a situation where it shouldn't be, where standing wraps, you can leave those on and pretty much be assured in a situation like trailering or even overnight that it's not going to do any damage. So that is all. Hopefully it just gives you something to think about when making your decision when you go to load your horse up or your mule up for the next time. So thanks. Bye.